Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope all of you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah, and I am also not bad by His grace. Welcome to everyone in online class of Nandia Sangun Ideal Dakhil Madrasah, Sri Lanka, and I am here, Mahbub Alam, assistant teacher in English from Nandia Sangun Ideal Dakhil Madrasah. My dear students, you know me very well that I am here as an English teacher, and in my previous classes here I talked about lots of topics like that: English first paper, English second paper, grammar, and the written part, all of things. But today I am also discuss and another types of topics, and hope you will greatly benefit it if you follow this class. Especially my today's class is for class 9 and 10 English first paper. So my dear students, please open your book and follow this class. Hope you will be greatly benefited from this class. My dear students, so let's start. Where is my introductions? You know me very well that I'm here as an English teacher, and in my YouTube or in this institutional YouTube here I have lots of classes. If you want to follow, if you want to get benefited, you have to submit this YouTube link and you have to follow this class. So my dear students, our today's topics is another types of topics. At first we can guess which topics we will discuss today. Look at the flags and talk with your partners. What are the countries' names of these flags? Here are lots of flags you can see. But which country is which flags? Can you any imagine? Hope if you want to follow in my previous classes, hope your assumption will be right. If we want to follow these flags, hope you can guess which topics we will discuss today. My dear students, yes, hope your assumption is both right. First flag is for Bhutan, second is for Sri Lanka, third one is for India, and fourth one is Maldives, Nepal, and Pakistan. You know that all the countries are related for in our SAARC. SAARC means South Asian for Association of Cooperation in Regulations. So all the countries are member of a SAARC, and all the countries are our neighbors. So my dear students, for class 9 and 10, hope you will guess which topics we will discuss today. Yes, my dears, our today's topics is our neighbors. Can you know what is neighbors? What is the definition of neighbors? In our religious classes or another types of classes, here we know that the definition of neighbors. The definition of neighbor means in our surrounding area. For your better understanding, I will say that in this is the class of English, and that's why our rules and regulations here talk that we have to use in English, because English is a language, English is an international language, but most of the students get higher educated but they cannot speak in English fluently, and this is very much shocking news for not only yours but also ours. Not only ours, it is the bad news whole of the nations, because we started a long way in this subject, but we cannot say such a word, such a sentence in English. This is very much bad. That's why in our rules and regulation of government, here government declared that we have to use in our specific language. Like that, who are the teachers of Bangla, they have to use in Bangla. Who are the teachers in Arabic, they have to speak in Arabic. And who are the teachers of English, they have to always use in English. And I always like to speak in English because I am a teacher of English. But in some classes here I have to use I have to speak in Bangla because of your better understanding, or some of the students requested, that's why I have to use in Bangla. But in classes I always try to speak in English because I want your achievement will be very fulfilled, and you have to get the highest score in English. Otherwise, you know that English is a language. If you want to develop this language, you have to always speak in English, you have to adapt, you have to get the highest ability in speaking English, you have to achieve in fluent in English. So my dear students, I always try to speak English. Hope you will be greatly benefited if you follow my classes. They are our neighbors countries. All the countries which flag we saw here or see here, these are our neighboring countries. The definition of neighborings, I say that where we live are the surrounding our each types of 40 houses is called our neighbors. Like that, in which country we lived, in which country we are staying, in our surrounding, all the countries are our neighboring. In our sorrows, in our happiness, all the countries, all the neighboring are help from one to another for our better understanding, for our betterment. Not only that, our neighbors are our well-known neighborings, and they are all our relatives, because we always catch them, we always got them in our happiness and sorrows. So my dear students, these are our neighboring country, because all the countries are surrounding our beloved motherland Bangladesh. So my dear student, if we follow these classes, our today's topics, hope you will be greatly benefited. Look at the following pictures and get who are they. What are their names? Who are they? Why they are famous? My dear students, hope your assumption is this time also correct. They are the well-known figure. I hope your assumption is totally right. They are the best player of Sri Lanka. That means one of is Kumar Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardene. They are very much famous person. They are very much famous because they have a well-known history in the place of cricket. And cricket is nowadays is one of the most exciting game, you know that. And ICC is the headquarters of cricket. And our countries also played a great role in the betterment of cricket. And we love cricket a lot. So they are the player of Sri Lanka. First one is Mahela Jayawardene, Muralidharan and Kumar Sangakkara. They are very much famous. Hope your knowledge is more than my knowledge about cricket, because you are the would be a cricketer of our country. So they all are the Sri Lankan cricketers. My dear students, look at the book, because here are the lots of grammatical items. In my previous classes here I also talked about lots of grammar items. But when we write, we have to maintain the grammatical rules, because English is a language and grammar is the rules for application this language. Then all the Sri Lanka, the persuasive is an adjective, because country is a cricketer is a noun. That means Sri Lanka is an adjective. Okay, my dear students, hope you are greatly benefited from this class if we follow this class very much attentively. This is the flag. Look at the board, my dear students. Which plant is this flag? Hope your assumption is right. And you hope get guesses which topics we will discuss today. Yes, my students, your assumption is totally right. So today we will read about this flag, that means our neighboring country, Sri Lanka. Our neighbors, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is very much famous country in all types of issue. Not only it's a scenic beauty, not only these are our neighboring countries, but also here are lots of reasons for they are well known. In the previous, if we want to read the great epics of Ramayana, here you know that in the literatures of English or Bangla, here are four are the great epics in the world. First one is Odyssey, Iliad, Ramayana and Mahabharata. These are the well-known epics, and if you read any types of epic like that Ramayana, here Sri Lanka is the well-known history, because Sri Lanka is a country of a naughty person, Ravan. Ravan is living in Sri Lanka, and if we read these books, hope you will get much interested. Here are lots of issues, here are lots of phrase and clause which is very much used in our Bangla language, and our Bangla language is greatly enriched from these types of phrase and idioms. So my dear students, if you want a free time, you can read these types of epic, because epic is a great long verse and these are the very much highly informative issues. Okay my dear students, next learning outcomes. If we follow this class very carefully, you will be greatly benefited. Not only that, if after completing this lesson, the students will be able to read, comprehend and summarize this text. Ask and answer questions. Write a paragraph about some interesting places of the country. So my dear students, if we follow, you will be greatly benefited. These types of benefited. Here is an announcement. So my dear students, here is our topics. So please open your books for understanding this. First one, the topic is, anyone visiting Sri Lanka may often hear the word Ayuban. This word means may you have the gift of long life. My dear students, you know that all the countries have some native languages. Like that in our Bangla, in English or in Farsi, on Arabian or Urdu. Every language has some native languages. Like that, anyone visiting Sri Lanka may often hear the word. That means who are interested, who are going to visit in Sri Lanka, they have to, but they are often hear the word Ayuban. Ayuban, that means this is the word of their native word. What is the meaning of this sentence? What is the meaning of the word? This word means, this word here is a third person singular number, that's why we use means as or is in the word. May you have the gift of long life. That means it is an optative sentence, like that here praise or wishes is expressed here. May you have the gift of long life. That means Ayuban means you have gift of a long life. This is a wishing sentence. They are welcoming us who are going to this beautiful land of Sri Lanka for visiting. It is with this traditional greeting. Greeting means welcoming. This is the traditional. Traditional means a history of long time. That means this history has run a long time. It is with this traditional greeting that everyone is welcome. My dear student, look at the board. Here is welcome. This sentence is a passive sentence. In my classes here I discussed about active voice, passive voice, simple, complex, compound or other types of grammatical item. So here I said that if we will use third form of verb before our auxiliary. Auxiliary means who are the helping word, like that's be verb. Am, is, or was, were, have, has, have, this type. So if we want auxiliary and then the use from a verb in the third use, past participle is called the passive. To Sri Lanka, that means everyone is welcome. That means all are welcome. All are greeting, they are warmly welcome to Sri Lanka. To Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the name of a country, is a noun. Sri Lanka is variously known as Srindev, cyclones, teardrops of India. Teardrops of India. Teardrops in the, why it is called teardrops of India? Teardrops means our ice water, like that India, because Sri Lanka is situated like that our Indian oceans. That's why it's called the teardrop of India. Ceylons, Serintips and pearl of the Indian Ocean, etc. So Sri Lanka has lots of names. These are the name teardrop of India or pearls of the Indian Ocean. Pearls means a very beautiful, valuable things, which is collected from the pearls oyster. And pearls is generally used for making girls ornament, and this is a very much valuable things of pearl, etc. These names, look at the board, my dear student. These names, which names? Because they are the names of Sri Lanka. They are the Sri Lanka synonyms. So here is a plural form. That's why we use these like that. This is singular. This plural, singular, plural. So these names, which names? These are the synonyms. These names reveal, that means reveals the richness and beauty of the Iceland nation. So my dear students, these names, which are the names? These are the names. Serendips, Ceylons, Teardrop of India, Pulse of India. These are the names of Sri Lanka. So these names reveals. Reveals means comes after, or reveals means establish, or the identity, the richness. Here is a word. Look at the board, my dear student. Rich is an adjective. But when we use richness, this word is a noun. Richness means and riches, sovereignty. Not only sovereignty but also richness means to the rich or plenty of things, and this sense is very much well established. This is an adjective here. In this sentence, this is an adjective, or richness is a noun, or this is an article, or richness is a noun, and the beauty means the beautifications beautiful of this Iceland nation. Many travelers, that means all the travelers. Travelers means a person who walk one to another for visiting something. These are called the travelers. From ancient mariners and merchants of the present day tourists have been attracted by the beauty of these islands. My dear students, look at the board here. Many travelers from ancient mariners. Do you know who is ancient mariners? In the poem of, if you are interested to read English novel or English poem, here you got this name, Ancient Mariners. The rhyme of Ancient Mariners is the name of an English poem written by a very well-known poet of the Romantic ages. Can you imagine who is she? Yes, my dear students, your assumption is right. The rhyme of Ancient Mariner is a well-known poems, and here the writer said that ancient means very old. Samuel Taylor Coleridge is a writer of Ancient Mariner, or St. Coleridge, which is very much popular name of the poets. Ancient Mariners, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge composed this poem, Ancient Mariners. And ancient means very old, very past, very old, and it is a poetic name for attracting the readers. And the merchant to present day tourist. Tourist means a person who visit one to another country, from one country to another, for visiting, for encouraging, for seeing, for watching the beautiful scene of another countries, have been attracted. Look at the board, have been attracted. That means this word are in very past way, and this sentence is a passive. Have been attracted by the beauty of these islands. Why are the people going this land? Because they want to achieve, they want to see, they want to visit the beauty of this land. Of this land means the land of Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is a very much well-known beautiful country. Look at the board, my dear students. Here is the geography of the beautiful land of Sri Lanka, which is our surrounding countries, which is our neighboring countries. And look at, this is called the pulse of Indian Ocean, because all the surrounding is an Indian Oceans. And here, this is called the teardrop. Teardrops means ice water. When we cry, we lift our teardrops, and look at this. This map is also like that teardrop. This map is the Sri Lanka. Then it has the lots of names. So my dear students, Sri Lanka is located. So this sentence also a passive sentence. Sri Lanka is located. Is an auxiliary verb, and located is the V3 of the verb. In the Indian Ocean, just off the southeastern coast of India. That means it is situated in southeastern coast. Coast means the sea level part of India. Shaped like a teardrop. What is the shape of India? Like our teardrop. That means what is teardrop? When we cry, we lift our ice water, and ice water is like a teardrop. Teardrop, the island of Sri Lanka measures about 415 kilometers from north to south. That means its north part and south part is 415 kilometers. To the south end is about 220 kilometers from the east to west. And here east to west is 220 kilometers. My dear students, 220 kilometers with a total land area of about 65,600 square kilometers. Then what is the total land area of Sri Lanka? Total area is 65,600 square kilometers. It has more than 1340 kilometers of the coastline. Do you know what is called coastline? These things are coastline because which are totally touch the sea level of the Indian Ocean. These are called the coastline. Like that, our Cox's coastline is 120 kilometers because here Bangoposagar Bay of Bangla and our Cox's Bazar's our coastline is 120 kilometers. So, my dear students, despite its modest size, Sri Lanka has a population of about 220 million. Have you any idea about a million? Yes, my dear students, your assumption is not wrong. Your assumption is right. 1 million means 10 lakh. That means here the population of 20 million. That means a huge population. Sri Lanka has a population of about 20 million. Sri Lanka is a multi-religious. Have you any idea about multi-religious? Yes, my dear students. Religious means religion. That means who are keep faith, trust about their God or goddess. In our countries, in our beloved countries, motherland of Bangladesh, here we are mostly as a religious of Islam, some other Hindus, some other Buddhists, some other Christians. These are the all types of religious people. Like our country, Sri Lanka is also a multi-religious. That means here are a lot of religious people. They have a free about the religious, like that Islam, Buddhist, Christian, etc. Multi-racial. Have you any idea about racial, my dear students? Yes. Your assumption is not wrong. Racials mean caste, like that fair, blacks, etc. So, Sri Lanka is a country of multi-religious, multi-racial. That means here are the various types of skins, person, fair, black, etc. etc. And multilingual. Do you have any idea about lingual? Yes, my dear students. These countries like our linguals means a use of language. In our Bangladesh, beloved Bangladesh, here are lots of lingual. Like that our Bangla, Khasias, they have their own native languages. So these types of language, they have also a multilingual. That means the people are divided for using various types of languages in the country of Sri Lanka. Multilingual country. The four major ethnic groups are Sinhales, Sri Lanka's Tamils, Indian Tamils, and Sri Lanka's Moor or Muslims. My dear students, look at the board very carefully. Here are said that there are four major ethnic groups. Have you any idea about ethnic groups, my dear students? Yes, ethnic means like that Tribal people. In our country, here are lots of ethnic groups like that Marma, Karons, Khachia, Garo, etc. These are the ethnic groups. But in the country of Sri Lanka, here are also ethnic groups. What are the main groups of four? There are four major ethnic groups. How many major groups? There are four many major groups like that the Sinhales, Sri Lankan Tamils. We are very much use this word is a Tamil because I hope that all of you are students who are used to hear the word of Tamil languages. Because we watch Tamil movie very much and like that Sri Lanka here are also lots of Tamil people. So dear students, for our electricity suspensions of electricity or the use of load shedding, you follow your book, and I am reading from this book. We are sometimes missing of the load shedding, but we continue our studies. So you follow your main book. Here are the 4 ethnic groups, like that Indian, Tamil, Sri Lanka's Moor or Muslim. So Muslim synonym is the Moor. If you read the well-known playwright of Shakespeare, Hamlet, Macbeth, here you use the word of Moor, because in the place of Macbeth, Hamlet, King Lear, or here if you want the word of Moor, Moor means Muslim. A 5th group, the Vidas, are the original inhabitants of the Iceland. That means here is the 5th group. 4 groups are the main ethnic groups, but not only the 4, here is another group. The Vidas are the original inhabitants of the Iceland. Original inhabitants means they are the native of this land. The ancient history of Sri Lanka is depicted in Hindu epic Ramayana. My dear student, before going to start our classes, here I told that about Ramayana. It is a great epic, and here Sri Lanka is described vividly. But the most of the importance of Lanka's origin is related in Mahashama's the Great Chronicles. So my dear students, here is the key. I have finished our today's topics, and if we follow this class, hope you will be greatly benefited. And next, our ASW. Sri Lanka's people are lots of what they have lots of language. They are like that our ethnic people also. But my dear students, if we follow these classes, you will be greatly benefited. And now is the time of our ASW. What is the okay, my dear student, before going to give ASW, here are some what like that the nickname of Sri Lanka. What is the nickname of Sri Lanka? Yes, my dear student, your assumption is not wrong. The nickname of Sri Lanka is a teardrop or the pulse of India. Next is Pearl. Okay, my dear students, so no more today. Hope all of you are fine. You will be greatly benefited from these classes. And our next class ASW is about Sri Lanka. Write a paragraph about Sri Lanka. Write a paragraph. Write a paragraph about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. That means you have to write about the description of Sri Lanka, why Sri Lanka is famous, what are the nicknames of Sri Lanka, why Sri Lanka is called the beautiful scenic, why Sri Lanka is called the eardrop of India or the pulse of India. And when you write a paragraph about Sri Lanka, you have to write this total area, total population, total ethnic groups, and all the things you have to complete from these classes. So my dear students, no more today. Hope you all are keep well and fine, and we should always stay at home. We should always neat and clean. We should always maintain the rules of health and hygiene. Okay. Hope we will be meet very soon. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.